What is going on, everybody? This is your boy, A to the P, Elbert Perkins, here on the set of the Weekly Beat podcast. And why am I here? Because I got something really special for you guys. I was able to head out to GameStop last night. I was just looking around. Look on the shelf. There's a DualShock 4 controller just sitting on the shelf. I'm like, dude, are these available for purchase? And actually, I take that back. It wasn't a controller. It was like a card that said, like, you know, you just take the card up there and you can purchase it. So I just walked up to the counter. I said, "Hey, you guys got DualShock 4s in the back." And I had previously saw, like, all over on the internet, like on Reddit and everything, the people, were able to obtain their DualShock 4s already. And I said, "I wonder if I can get mine." So, the dude, I gotta say, dude was real nervous to sell me the controller. He was just basically saying, like, "Oh man, I don't know. They're street dated. I don't know if I can do this," and everything else. So he ended up calling his manager, and from there he also went ahead and called his assistant manager, and eventually he got the okay, and I was able to get one of these guys right here. PlayStation 4 DualShock 4 controller. It's unbelievable. So what I'm going to do for you guys here today is I'm going to do a nice little unboxing for you. Okay, so here we go. Moment of truth. DualShock 4 controller. Let's get into it right now. Let's just go ahead and unbox this puppy as we do it right here. Okay, man, it's really nice boxing. They did a really nice job with the box and artwork here. A few little details here, of course, on the back. It's just talking straight up about next-gen gaming. It's just, man, I can't wait. I'm so excited to get into next-gen here. So it'll be a real treat once this console is released here on November 15th. And yeah, here we go. Pretty easy to get out of the box here. Looks like we've got some instructions here. So before we even move on, I'm just going to go on and check out these instructions. Yeah, it's talking about before using the product, carefully read this manual. This is really important. Get out of here. I ain't worried about that stuff, dog. I just want to open this up, So yeah, look, nice little plastic covering here, and let's see. Oh wow, that's easy enough. It just pops right off. Very nice. And yeah, as soon as you pop it off, there's the controller right there. And voila. Awesome. Oh, man. It feels absolutely amazing in your hand. It feels great, guys. Really intuitive the way it was designed here. The first thing I noticed whenever I put the DualShock 4 in my hands is just the way it feels. The triggers. It's they're very contoured and they're a lot smaller. I like the way they are designed here a lot more in comparison with the DualShock 3 because it feels like the buttons are a lot more, accessible to get to. They also feel a lot more springy too, especially the R2 and L2 buttons, a lot more springy. And the controller itself, it's probably about the same weight, as the DualShock 3, I would say. It feels about the same, in terms of weight. I'll compare them very shortly here. But, yeah, overall, this is awesome. I'll give you guys a little close-up there. There it is. DualShock 4, PlayStation 4. Looks awesome, right? So yeah, of course, in the front you have your face buttons, the triangle, square, circle, and X buttons. You have the analog buttons there. Or, I'm sorry, you have the analog joysticks right here. Very cool, nice design. I like the way they are pushed in a little bit there. I had a lot of problems with my DualShock 3 whenever I was getting into some gaming with that, the analogs, they would just break off and I'd end up having to buy a new controller. So hopefully with this one, I won't have that problem. Additionally, of course, you have the PlayStation button right there in the center. Above that, you have the new touchpad. Now the touchpad is going to be used in conjunction with a lot of games. You're going to be able to, use a lot of accessories and everything else when it comes to gaming and everything with that. Just a lot of interaction with that. I know Playroom is, they're going to be using that functionality on the DualShock 4 controller. So very nice. Of course, in the center there, you also have a speaker. Right above the PlayStation button is the speaker. And underneath here, you have your headphone jack. Yes, the PlayStation 4 is coming with a headphone microphone attachment. So yeah, that'll be nice. It didn't come separately with the DualShock 4, but with your PlayStation 4 console, there will be one of those headsets in there. As well as in the back here, we have the light bar, which lights up whenever you turn it on. Very cool. And underneath that we have the micro USB, not mini USB, micro USB. They changed that up, so you have existing cables that you use to charge up your DualShock 3. You're not going to be able to use that one because the DualShock 4 uses a micro USB cable, so you might want to make sure you get an extra one of those because it does not come into the retail box of the DualShock 4 controller. It does come into the retail box of the PlayStation 4 console, so you'll get at least one of those, but you might want to get an additional one if you're having two controllers like I am. So let's see what else here, guys. I mean, it's just really nice design on the back here. Nice. I like the way it's designed on the back. Makes it really easy to grip the controller itself. Notice the handles on the controller themselves are a little bit longer than what they are in comparison with the DualShock 3, as well as the directional pad there behind that, and also behind the face buttons. You can see how reflective and shiny and pretty it looks itself. Very cool, very neat. Oh yeah, and how could I forget? How could I forget the share button? You guys like to be social out there. I know I like to be social with social media and everything. I know a lot of people probably won't even use this button, but it's called a share button. It's right on the other side, right here, on the other side there of the D-pad. Basically, you'll be able to use that button to share your gameplay and maybe even live stream, if you will, on social sites like Twitch. You stream, maybe even YouTube. They haven't announced that yet, but maybe sometime here in the near future. Across from the share button is the options button, and that button is basically going to act as your start and select button there. You see it on the other side or over here. Basically, that button's going to act as your start and select button because the start and select button have now been removed from the DualShock 4 controller. They're no longer there. So yeah, that'll be nice to just have one button there to kind of combine what you're what you're going to be looking for there. So, but yeah, let's go ahead. You know what? Let's go ahead and compare the DualShock 4 with our old friend DualShock 3. So yeah, here we go. I got both controllers here. Compare them in size. I mean, it's pretty much, in weight. Like I said, weight-wise, it's pretty much the same. As you can see, the DualShock 4 controller is a little bit longer. The analog buttons here feel a lot more rough on the DualShock 3, and on the DualShock 4 it feels a lot more smooth, and doesn't feel like my thumb might slip, with the DualShock 4. Let's see what else here. I mean, the triggers, that is the main thing, the triggers. If you look at the DualShock 3, you can see that the trigger buttons L1, L2, R1, and R2, those buttons are kind of separated by the controller itself. If you look at the DualShock 4, you can see that that is connected somewhat there. A little bit. There we go. It's a better view there, comparison with both of them there. Comparing with both. There we go. So yeah, that's kind of cool. And just like I said, overall, the triggers they just feel a lot better on the DualShock 4 than they do on the DualShock 3. I ain't gonna lie, guys, this is probably the best controller I've ever held. I mean, it feels amazing. I got the opportunity to check it out whenever I was at E3, and I was happy with it then, and I'm even more happy with it now. So, yeah, man. PlayStation 4, right around the corner, November 15th. We're down to about 19 days or so before the console will be released. So, from that, if you want more information on next gen, even with the Xbox One, with the PlayStation 4, all this next gen news, you want to keep it locked right here on DigitalNoob. And also for your weekly tidbits, you want to make sure you got it locked right here on the Weekly Beat podcast, as every single week Matt and I are diving into next gen news, topics, and conversation every single week. It seems like as the closer we get to next gen release, the more news is coming out. So make sure you keep it locked right here on the Weekly Beat and DigitalNoob.
PlayStation